Hey, Mr. Charles Bryce here. We're going to be putting this motor on this thing, but first I gotta mix up some magic juice to get the blade off and the bolt, which is all rusted. So since it's all rusted, my magic juice is 3-in-1 and charcoal lighter fluid. The charcoal lighter fluid thins it out so it gets in there nice and deep and then dissolves away, and then a 3-in-1 is a lubricant that helps it slide, the surfaces slide together. So anyway, that's the first thing we're going to do. Just mix up our magic juice and then we'll go from there. So bear with me. Let's see. Here's some 3-in-1 oil. Probably just enough to get it on there and soak it. That's probably enough. That's probably too much. And then here's my... This stuff is too thick, but it's got some chain grease on it. And that 3-in-1. And then we'll put some lighter fluid in there. Thin it out. Just a little squirt of lighter fluid in there and that ought to do it. There we go. Mix it up. Oh yeah, there we go. It's extremely thin. It's dripping out of there. That's perfect. Alright, let's go put that on the blade. See if there's the housing. I gotta drill a hole in the housing. And then this is the this is just for this part of it. See, I brush it on here. That ought to do it. See, the lighter fluid acts like a penetrant. Makes it like real thin in there. And then get it on the other side. And then, yeah, this is a beginning video. The rest of it you'll see on YouTube on using a video camera. This I'm doing with my cell phone. I'm just doing this to get this part done. See, this is a housing that goes on the I don't want to spill that in the yard and track it in the house. Anyway, the way this works is there's a front drive up here. There's a pulley and a worm gear. This is a worm gear on a shaft that spins in here. There's a see that little keyed part? There's two keyed parts right here and right here. You can see the one across the other. It's an indentation that goes up to a pulley. Real hard to see up in there, but when I pull the blade off, you can see part of it up in there. See that white circle? That's a pulley which drives through there and comes up here to this worm gear and drives it. And there's somewhere in between there's a lever and another pulley which tightens it up, and then it gets it while it's running, it'll drive the front of it. It slips, and then the tighter you pull on that lever on the handle, it slips on there and then gets ever loose as you go. So my regular video camera's charging up, but anyway, this is just to get this loose. This first part is just to get this loose, to get this off, get that plastic housing off, but you got to get this blade off first with that engine bolted in, which is what this bolt here is. Yeah, that goes into the case, into the bottom. There's a case bolt that's right there. That's the bolt that we were looking at. It's that one there. There's another one back here. See it back here? That one. Those are back. There's one of them. A big one right there. Another one there. Then there's a third one over here. So I have the 3, but I don't have this cover bolt holes. So I'll have to drill those smaller than the size of this bolt to be able to screw this plastic housing into it. As you can see, the pan of this has got chips falling out of it. I almost cut myself on rust falling out of it, so it's actually a safety hazard. There's rust pitted all in here, and the rust is already bubbling on the other side, which means it's already rusted through. Not even going to try to save it. The blade is salvageable because see how thick the blade is. It's just basic surface rust on that. This pulley is only rusted to that first indentation there. The second one is clean, which means it hasn't eaten its way zinc up the side of it. I'll probably paint those real quick. But this is the blade, 21 inch. I'm going to leave that the same. Probably run a file and dress up the blade with a file. This is a 2-plate. There's the pulley above it here, and that, see this round part right there? That's against this plate, which is on top of the blade. There's the blade, and then this bottom plate, there's an indentation in the blade, and there's one indentation on both sides that hold the blade in there. I've already sized the bolts to lessen the amount of video time it takes to, so the tools have already been selected. Next thing I want to do is use a 2-foot chromium breaker bar in order to get this blade off, because I don't think there's anything I can do it. And this is also the reason why I haven't loosened up the bolts for the engine to the housing. It's because it's going to help me get this off. And again, the blade will be the last thing to go back on the new one. So I could replace all this, but it's all good. It just has a little bit of surface rust on it. So that is no big deal. I can clean that up and paint it with no problem whatsoever. Those are thick enough with plenty of metal left in there for the rest of the life of the lawnmower. Kept in a shed like this, it ought to last forever. Now, without further ado, let us remove the blade from the Briggs & Stratton 21-inch lawnmower. The rest of this may be on a searchable video that I will do later. But for now, this will have to do. Like I said, these have already been selected. I am going to have to use the right adapters for the breakover bar. They've already been selected. And we will now, I'm expecting this to go horribly wrong, but actually that is quite easy. In fact, it's too easy. It could be because, wow, that was easy. I guess that penetrant and all, I thought it was going to be a heck of a lot more difficult than it was. But it's actually quite easy for whatever reason. Anyway, you got that off. Here's the bolt that's that goes into the shaft of the lawnmower, which is fine threaded. Don't ask me why that's fine threaded. I think it's a high quality bolt, but fine threaded. Unbelievable. We then have the blade, which just falls off. Oh, look, it's actually star shaped like that. That's how they come. You have to make sure you get the right blade. It has to be like that. Okay. And then there's on the end of the shaft. Oh, you know what? That means we're going to have to get a different blade, because the one on the well, let me keep pulling this off. It might go to being round there. Let's see, there might be an adapter for this. We learn as we go. That's what we're doing. I have pulled the spark plug out, so this won't do so it won't do its thing. See, the compression's actually still good with this. See, there's that compression, there's a stop, and then there's another one, and it flows all the way through. There's 1/4. Look at that. I'll be danged. It spins freely, but it hangs up right there after that one. 1/4 of it's free, but everything seems to be good with the motor. It's just the controls of the motor suck big time. Yeah, this looks like a plate for the... Oh, I feel so inept. I feel so impotent because I don't have the right tools. Let me use this cheap cobalt with a blade. Oh, you know what? We're going to leave that on there because this housing will actually fit over it. See the little space on that? So that's going to fit over it. So let us continue here with the rest of this. Yeah, that's... Here, why don't we go with a half on these other ones? This is for the... Oh, wait, no. I want to do the plastic housing first, which would be with the 3/8. Where's the 3/8? That's one of these. I want to get this plastic housing off with a super duper breaker bar on a plastic housing. Oh, that was hard to do. Oh, I'm doing it the hard way. This is wonderful. This is the Charlie way. Do it the Charlie way. And I think that's it. There's 2 of those. Yep, 2 screws for the plastic housing. Those are just machine screws that are tapered. That'll be okay. There's... Yep, they got it. They got it stuck into the thing somehow. There. See the belt? Oh shit. There it is in all its pride and glory. The aluminum's corroding. That's one of the mold. I don't know what that is. I think it's corroding aluminum. Anyway, this pulley here is what I came in here to get. You got to pull this off. Get this pulley off here. I gotta replace this belt, I think. Oh, that belt looks good. Is there a set screw in this? I don't see one. The pulley looks just fine. I don't see any problem with it. I need an old screwdriver. Oh, the ants are taking up a living in this. Let's whack it a couple of... Yeah, it seems kind of... But this is all shafted. There's a shaft that's only like a little bit... That's real small. It's not even keyed. This is a plate that the blade goes onto. That's what this plate is. And it fits onto this. See, and all this is... I went looking for one of these and I couldn't find one, so it's got to come off. I guess I got to get a puller or something on it. A puller. A puller, some kind of pulley puller. It's on there, buddy. I mean, it is on there. Either got to find another one or pull it off one. I don't know how to do it. It's stuck. I don't see any set screws in the side of it. I know it's keyed. Whack it with a hammer a couple of times. I don't know what else to do with it. Let me go get a plastic hammer. Okay, got a plastic hammer. Let's see if we can't beat it off, but that's what she said. It's probably messing up the main bearing in it, but whatever. The engine's probably still good in this thing. It's just all the rest of it's crap. That's what's so messed up about it. Yeah, that's a hell of a thing, isn't it? You can almost use the old blade to pry it off. That's kind of a weird way of doing it, but it might work. Like that. Man, what a rusty old mess this is. Try not to tear it up because it's still useful. Oh, I can't get the belt out of the way. They got enough belts in the store to... Yeah, I don't think it's coming off there. I really don't. So, the only other thing I can do is take a cheap wrench, like this Cobalt, and pry it. Man, if it ain't coming off, it ain't coming off. I mean, that son of a gun does not. Try not to hit myself in the head with it. Oh, I don't think I'm making any headway with that at all. Am I making any headway? It's actually moving, believe it or not. Yep, I think so. It's actually moving. It's coming. It's moving, but my arm can't stay up for some reason. All right, let's beat it off. Let's go. It's coming off eventually. I think I need to go from a 17 to a 21 millimeter, huh? There, let me go get a bigger wrench. Oh, this is what I was looking for. Here you go. I got my pry bar. This will work perfectly for it. Is what I was looking for to begin with.